This episode brought to you by ExpressVPN, the best VPN there is. Take back your online privacy today. Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. Has anybody talked about Frozen yet?
Stop it!
Good, I'll be the first. It's hard to believe that over 6 years ago, Frozen graced the big screen and became, let's be fair, Disney's biggest animated hit. Being the highest grossing animated movie of all time. No. That was the live action remake. Oh, you just had to film the backgrounds. Oh! Frozen has become a cultural phenomenon Disney hasn't seen in years. Not that Disney has been particularly struggling, at least creatively, ? But an animated juggernaut of audiences, critics, music, and merchandise hasn't been seen like this from them since, well, the actual animated Lion King. The costumes are still huge, the songs are still sung. There's still high demand to see a perfect stranger dress up like Elsa just so kids can sniff a snowflake of her soul. And now with the sequel coming out, which is pointless to see, you know I predicted it all already. There are reminders everywhere that Frozen is an abominable money-making snowman that no one can defeat. So years later, I naturally have to ask, was it really worth all that attention? I mean, I like the film fine, but over the years, a strong backlash has formed around it. People have asked, with all the obsessing from kids and adults, was it really anything that special to hold in high regard? Was it truly a masterpiece, or a lucky film that just happened to hit the right fads at the right time? Well, after letting some time pass, I think it only makes sense to look back and see if it deserves the good, the bad, and the whatever we're doing here. Let's go back and see if it was all worth it. Most of it. This is Frozen. The film opens singing in a foreign language, which I think translates to "this song's underrated," as we see a little boy named Kristoff and his pet reindeer Sven helping out ice harvesters. Meanwhile, in must be a future Disney attraction somewhere, there it is, we see two young princesses, Anna and Elsa, stay up late playing as Elsa has magical ice powers. You know, with all those doctor games, how come there isn't one called Anna Has Frostbite? Elsa accidentally hurts Anna with her powers as her parents take her to a medical expert for these butt-ugly things.
Shush, I'm trying to listen. Cuties, I'm gonna keep you.
The tone of the film has decided to find this cute.
You are lucky it wasn't her heart. I recommend we remove all magic, even memories of magic.
Now, many have pointed out the parents' choice of erasing magic from Anna's memory and keeping the sisters mostly separated is, what's the term often used?
What the fuck is this?
Right, but I do argue this is more along the lines of how traditional fairy tale storytelling works. It's a means to an end. Why didn't Scar kill Simba earlier? Why didn't Ariel communicate through writing? Why was Aurora separated from her parents for years? All of these have simple solutions, but these problems further the themes, drama, and fantasy enough that many will let it slide. Do I wish something more logical was done while also furthering these elements? Absolutely. And I get why it bugs some people. But if Tarzan can say his name in perfect English despite it being taught to him in ape.
Tarzan.
Yeah, think about it. How does that work? I think this earns a little wiggle room.
Your power will only grow. Fear will be your enemy.
This ends the lesson driven by fear to convince you to stop giving it to fear. It looks like Elsa's powers are tied to her emotions. Haven't seen that done before this. I don't want to end on that one. Okay, as she's gloved up to hopefully keep her powers under control.
Conceal it.
Don't feel it.
Don't let it show.
This is gonna sound weird, but can she wear those as socks? Cause her shoes don't do shit. Maybe there's a lot more that can be explored with her feet. You know what, internet, I'm fine not diving into that. Over the years, Anna sings about building a snowman, but Elsa continues to keep herself locked away, afraid she might hurt her.
I've started talking to the pictures on the walls. Hang in there, Joan.
Never read a history book. Their parents go to create way too many fan theories, but get lost at sea, leaving Anna and Elsa on their own. 3 years go by, and Elsa is about to be crowned queen as she's finally turned 21. Pfft, old lady. This calls for a crowd of expositionists. No, I didn't pronounce that wrong. I mean people who literally say nothing but exposition.
Arendelle, a most mysterious trade partner.
It's coronation day.
Can't believe they're finally opening up the gates.
The queen has come of
I
age.
may unlock your secrets and exploit your riches.
Are we ready? Yes. Good. On we go.
Sore eyes can't wait to see the Queen and the Princess.
I bet they are beautiful.
Ha! Take that, Disney, conforming to feminine beauty. Now quickly conform to feminine beauty.
The window is open, so's that door. I didn't know they did that anymore.
So Anna, played by Kristen Bell, sings about her excitement of finally opening up the palace doors,
Why have a ballroom with no balls?
while Elsa, played by Is This Joke Dated? I don't care, needs a comeback, is dreading the opening of the palace doors.
Conceal, don't feel, put on a show.
Ah, the words every Roland Emmerich movie begins with. After a cameo from another magical princess, which given everything that happens in this, pretty douchey she does nothing, Anna bumps into a prince named Hans and they seem to hit it off.
Prince Hans of the Southern Isles.
Princess Anna of Arendelle.
Princess? My lady.
I have a sneaking suspicion that horse is up to something. We know Rapunzel is in this. He could be tied to the one from Tangled! Anna makes it to the coronation, which puts Elsa's biggest fear to the test.
Your Majesty, the gloves.
I know I should be concerned that her powers will be revealed, but honestly, I'm just happy Miguel finally transitioned. Yeah, I can have fan theories too! She holds out long enough to be crowned queen, as her and Anna are finally given some awkward but important sisterly time.
This is what a party looks like. And what is that amazing smell? Chocolate.
I've literally had 6 years to think of a joke, and I still don't know how to react to that.
It seems only fitting that I offer you your first dance as queen. Jump.
Oh, we're doing this kind of humor, okay. Guess we haven't really had the equivalent of the Six Flags guy for the 2-year-olds yet, fair enough.
Glad I caught you.
Anna meets up with Hans again, and they sing about how they're spontaneously in love. No, it's okay. It's supposed to be weird in this Disney movie.
Cheats again! Our mental synchronization can have but one explanation.
Welcome to either the best or worst duet you will encounter at every recital from now on. Hans proposes, and Anna accepts as long as she can get the Queen's blessing, which she does not give.
No one is getting married.
Wait, what?
You can't marry a man you just met.
Yeah, apparently people don't know that these are fairy tales, not to be taken literally, so Disney's gotta spell it out a bit more.
The party is over. Close the gates.
Please, I can't live like this anymore. Then leave.
Yeah, I have to admit, I always thought that was a little too fast of a turn. Like they've just met up again after so long and suddenly she's telling her to piss off. It never quite felt right. Even Anakin's turn was like,
Give me a second.
that was a second.
Okay, I'm in.
I think it was just meant to speed up her outburst, which, speaking of, her emotions and powers get out of control as she's revealed to the crowd who see her as a monster. This causes her to run away, putting the land into permanent winter. Anna decides since this was all her fault, she's the one that should go after her.
I don't want you getting hurt.
She's my sister. She would never hurt me.
I disagree, but if you want to Jack Torrance herself, you do you. She takes off to find her, while meanwhile on a nearby mountain. Sorry, that's the reaction every adult has now when they hear those 5 notes. Yeah, it's no mystery this song has been overplayed and overheard to the point of madness, with countless covers on the internet, tons of merchandise with the song's title, and as of now having over 1.8 billion hits on YouTube. At first, when people heard it on the radio, they were like, oh, that's the song from Frozen, right? Man, I sure hope that little kids movie song gets the attention it deserves. And now when you hear it, people are like,
Let it go!
but okay, objectifiably, it is a good song. I mean, the melody's catchy, the lyrics poignant, the singing fantastic. Anyone that's had stress in their life, so everybody, can listen to it and connect it to breaking free in a grand way. I guess when you think of all the other songs you've heard to death and have been played way too many times, is this really the worst one to be stuck with for a while? A queen making a fortress of ice while the sun rises and her hair ignoring physical mass? I feel like this could be worse. Of all the songs annoyingly played millions of times over the years, I still stand by this is one of the better ones. Overdone? Sure. But that doesn't mean it didn't sound really good the first time it was played. Anyway, it's gotta be better than Hakuna Matata. So Anna travels all day until it becomes dark and she finds an old shop. You might be wondering why they had this short bit of her in the day only to cut to night, especially when they could have just had it all happen the exact same night. Because Light of Day was a lyric in the last song we heard, and there is no way they are passing on a whimsical money shot like this. Disney, we shit these scenes. Can't count the number of illnesses the cold would have given her in that outfit, so let's just say all of them.
No, Sven, I didn't get your carrots.
She comes across Kristoff, who's now all grown up, who pretends that his reindeer Sven can talk to him.
Every one of them's bad, except you.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
This already has me rethinking how many Disney characters are just imagining colorful characters talking to them. But seeing how a reindeer has a lifespan of 10 years and they were kids together, I'm wondering if Sven is even alive.
Sven, don't you think I'm right?
That's once again true, for all except you.
Let's call it a night.
Just let him dream. Anna convinces him to take her up the mountain to find Elsa, where she talks about her love, Hans, and their sporadic romance.
What's his last name?
Of the Southern Isles.
Eye color.
Dreamy.
Foot size.
Foot size doesn't matter.
Hey, the only reason this movie has a PG rating definitely belongs in the same ranks as this. Rating system's still a joke. They're attacked by wolves, but they fight them off, losing the sled. On top of that, they come across a snowman Elsa accidentally gave life to. Sorceresses do this all the time. Galadriel accidentally farted hobbits. And it looks like his name is Olaf, played by Josh Gad.
Did Elsa build you?
Yeah, why?
Do you know where she is?
Yeah, why?
While I can't act like he doesn't get a hint annoying from time to time, he does have a few jokes that really do land.
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
And I have to give credit, while most Disney comic relief are very loud and stupid, this character is at least very quiet and stupid. A kid imitating him would probably be more whispery than, say, imitating Mushu.
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow! Dishonor on...
The thought occurs to me I shouldn't have children. It is also wonderfully surreal to see him sing about what he thinks snow does in summer, which is lay on burning sand, take a hot tub, and grind a film story to a complete halt. But again, it is a little funny.
In summer...
I'm gonna tell him.
Don't you dare.
And while you're at it, don't tell me what Elsa Gate is. I just know it's bad. They climb all day and eventually reach Elsa's palace.
Whoa.
Now that's ice.
Don't start with the ice puns, man. The Olympic champion cannot be beat.
The Iceman cometh.
Once you start, it's a slippery slope. See, I'm doing it! Anna confronts Elsa and tries to convince her to come back while, well, we've ripped off Wicked a few times and now we have their star, so we can rip them off a bit more.
Yes, I'm alone, but I'm alone and free. And if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free.
Well, what'd you think they were gonna take from the Snow Queen?
Arendel's in deep, 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 deep snow.
See, I almost said shit, but I didn't, and we could have gotten away with it too, because we're PG.
Elsa doesn't know what to do, gets emotional, and ends up hurting Anna again.
Seems like every woman you try to save ends up dead.
Elsa makes a snow monster to throw them out as he chases them down the mountain.
Wanna build me now, bitch?
They escape, but they realize Anna's hair is getting whiter. So Kristoff takes her to the Rockbiter's ball fungus.
What's going on?
I've learned to just roll with it.
It's fair for every half a dozen fun scenes you gotta take a little kick to the testicles. By Disney standards, that's pretty good.
Beyonce out of the way.
And sometimes you gotta take a little more. Yeah, time for everybody's least favorite song, sung by everybody's least favorite characters. Again, I know I've heard more annoying Disney tunes, but this one really does stop the story in its tracks and offer pretty much no laughs. At least the Olaf song had a few light giggles. This one has the fast forward sign imprinted on your screen because you've skipped past this song so much.
Do you, Anna, take Kristoff to be your trollfully wedded...
Wait, what?
You're getting married.
You know that thing we made a big deal not doing after knowing a guy for a day? We're doing that.
She's as cold as ice. There is strange magic here.
Sorry, I was in the back reading stale Smurf Hooters monthly. It's kinda what I do whenever that song plays. He tells them that only an act of true love can fix a frozen heart, so Kristoff insists that they take her back to Hans, who's considerately on his way to kill her sister.
Please.
That's right, I forgot I'm awesome. Elsa knocks herself out on the camera and wakes up in prison. Kristoff gets Anna home and instructs the servants to take her to Hans.
Find Prince Hans immediately.
We will. Thank you.
You deserve a just reward. Well, goodbye.
Hans, you have to kiss me.
What?
Now.
Oh,
now.
slow down.
This leads to arguably the most polarizing but part of the movie. Hans reveals he's actually the villain.
If only there was someone out there who loved you.
Now, here's the thing. At first, I didn't really like this because it just felt like another Disney surprise villain, which they've been having way too many of recently. And on top of that, this movie was doing fine without a real villain. It was kind of refreshing to get away from the basic good versus evil storyline. But then I thought about it. Elsa's problem is that she shut herself out and won't let anyone get close. Anna's problem is that she wears her emotions on her sleeve and will let anyone get close. Both of these are increasingly bigger problems, especially online. You often hear about someone getting fooled or manipulated on the internet because they were too giving of themselves. Hell, there's literally a hit show about it. But on the other hand, you hear about people who stay in and never talk to people, finding comfort in their echo chambers and never going out into the real world. Because of this, I've actually really grown to like Hans as the bad guy. It's a legit surprise. I honestly thought he was fleshed out enough to be a funny and charming character. And it hammers home the problem of being too giving with your emotions and not being careful with who you trust. Elsa needs to open up, Anna needs to pull back. And it works best if we're as shocked as she is that someone betrayed her. As long as there's no corny villain lines like she says, you won't get away with this. And he says, I already have. Yeah, that's lame, but you know, you take a few. Olaf helps Anna escape as she continues to turn and everybody meets up on the lake. She sees Hans about to kill Elsa, so she sacrifices herself, letting the ice consume her.
I was frozen today!
Yeah, you would have killed me if I didn't put that in. I'll refrain putting my tongue on her to see if it sticks. But this counts as an act of true love as it melts Anna free and Elsa realizes, for lack of a better term, love conquers all.
Love.
I send you to Chicago. Just arrive whenever you want. October if you like. Olaf is given his own personal flurry, Hans is given his own personal meme, and I'm still convinced Kristoff is dragging around a dead animal.
Will you marry me?
Sure. Oh, come on! Elsa is in more control of her powers, the relationship between her and Anna is stronger, and Olaf went on to be everyone's favorite part of Coco. So that was Frozen, one of Disney's biggest movies of all time. How does it hold up? Well, it's still really, really good. For Disney. I know that sounds weird as they're the pioneers in animation, but technology-wise, nothing that new is done. In terms of story and characters, nothing really that new is done either. I mean, their biggest breakthrough is you don't have to marry someone you just met. I feel like other animated films have gone way beyond that. But with that said, it just does the job of having charming characters, an engaging story, hummable songs, and even some updated lessons that tie into modern day problems. You could argue a lot of this is about overcorrecting, how the parents overcorrected separating them, how Elsa overcorrected shutting people out, and how Anna overcorrected being too social. Is this one of the great animated movies? Objectifiably, I think there's better stories and bigger groundbreakers, but I still think it's really, really good and showcases a lot of great talents that clearly worked their asses off to make something millions of people strongly connect with. Is it way too all over the place? Yeah, but I can see why it is. I can see why not everyone gets on board the Frozen train, but I have to admit I'm always gonna have a special place for it in my Frozen heart. I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and if you'll excuse me, I got a hunger for some donuts. I donut donuts.
Chocolate.